Hello and welcome back. I'm Brycey, and joining me this time, the boys, one golden, one wondrous. How are you two gentlemen?
Typically better to be gold.
Well, that's your opinion, I think.
I think I'm right.
I'd rather be wondrous.
I am from the internet, thus my opinion is always right.
Well, shut up.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Dude, that is amazing. Just, you're stupid.
You're stupid.
You're just a stupid face.
More
I think
stupid
this is going to be a fun analyst panel for this one.
Oh, no, we're not going to break down anything.
Hey, I'm ready to throw down if you
I'll RKO through this table right now.
This
I'd like to see you try.
Production will love that.
This desk will definitely take an arm wrestle later in the show.
Oh, not an arm wrestle.
No, come on now.
I'm gonna give him an attitude adjustment. Hey-o, John Cena. You know, like that. That's what I'm going to do.
Come on. I wanna, come on.
Look at the fat jiggle.
Dragging this wildly back into some
Let's talk
semblance
about
of the
Halo.
show.
We're here to do Halo. What?
Let's talk, first of all, about the fixtures. We've seen 2 so far, more coming up. We just saw Team Dignitas versus Potent Halo. Coming up next, though, Team Infused versus Hyped Gaming, and then XL Esports versus Reformed, and then Ironide Gaming versus Riot, and then the rest of the schedule. Still lots of games to get through for the rest of the day. Then after that, we actually have the bracket here for Group C, and the Group C bracket, how this all kind of breaks down. Guys, how do you think this is all going to play out?
You know, I think we can realistically see Infuse and Viperio in the winners match.
Yeah, I see
with
that
Viperio coming out alongside with Infused.
I see that happening. I mean, like we said, Infused, they're event winners across the board on that team, and then on Viperio, I see them outclassing Garda. I think it will be closely contested against Garda, but I see Viperio coming out on top.
Okay, fair enough. Well, let's actually just jump straight into this game then and start breaking it down. Infused versus Hype Gaming, first thoughts?
Well, I mean, again, like we said, Infused, they have event winners. They're the type of lineup that should really be winning these types of events. So they really should be winning this match, and they should be winning their group, and they should be winning the whole thing.
I'm a Chalky fan. I'm a Chalky fan all day. I have Infused taking this event, by the way. You know, I'm feeling good.
Yeah,
about
you're the only one who has.
And this guy is an analyst, apparently.
That's right.
I don't even.
I mean, listen, I didn't say it was. I'm smart. I never claimed this. You know, they put me here. I didn't ask to be on this. You know, I just did it. You know, but no, I have Infused going far, and you know, the only thing that, again, I said it before. I have Infused winning, but I could realistically see Dig winning as well. I think Epsilon is a great team as well, by the way, not to take anything away from them. I just, you know, I like to see the difference, right? Epsilon's been dominating. So long as Epsilon makes it, I'm okay with that, right? I just want Epsilon to make it to the EMEA, you know, finals. But with that said, though, I think, and you had mentioned this before, you know, if anyone does anything to put Infused on tilt, right, to use that term, which I'm not a big fan of that term. I think it's a dumb term. But I'm going to use it just for the sake of this, because to quote you, I think that is going to be the difference maker, right? You know, I think these players have kind of expressed their frustration in the past with like adjusting to this game, and you know, they definitely need to, you know, just shape up in that regard, right? This is the game. This is how it is. It's time to adjust. It's do or die. You know, no one in North America is going to be giving them any kind of, you know, quarter whatsoever. They're just going to, they will bring it to you, right? And same thing for Infuse and as well as for Dignitas. So for Infuse, or excuse me, Epsilon Dignitas, but for Infuse, they simply need to stay calm, cool, and collected, and I could see them winning this event. They're so good.
Yeah.
They're so good. I mean, you have the one and only Chalky on the squad. Blackjack as well. I'm a big Blackjack fan. I like this dude a lot. You know, I think this top down, this roster is phenomenal, and they have just so much potential, and a team that really did well in North America when they were there. So, you know, I just feel like this squad has a lot to offer.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're going to touch on it a little bit later on, but again, they dropped Riot, who was one of the biggest names.
Yeah.
In European Halo, period. If you know European Halo, you know Riot. And it's something that me and Onset actually touched upon throughout the qualification campaign. You know, how is this Infused lineup going to adjust to, you know, losing such a big player? And again, you touched upon it. You know, they're having struggles adapting to Halo 5, but I think Blackjack is exactly what they needed. I think he's installed a new mindset within the team. You know, hey, we need to adapt. We need to learn how to play within these rules. You know, the rules of the game aren't going to change. We just need to deal with it and adapt. And I think we've seen improved performances from Infused throughout their time with Blackjack. So hopefully they can get it done here.
Is Blackjack going to be the key player this weekend for Infused then? Or is there someone else we should really be keeping an eye on?
I think it's interesting on the Infused side. I think it has to be 2Foxy. I mean, he's been so consistently great throughout all tournaments, but I think that it kind of has to happen. If 2Foxy is on fire, the team's going to work around him, Yeah. And if Ramirez can get, on the board as well, Ramirez in the past has had really... He's really struggled in big games to get kills on the board. We've seen him in the past in 15-minute-long games get single-digit kills, and that just absolutely cannot happen if Infused are going to try and challenge.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. In North America, we talk about Chalky a lot because of the plays that he made, namely at the PAX Invitational for, before HCS even began. So a lot of people talk about Chalky because of that, right? Because of his presence and like what he did and the confidence that he had at that event. But yeah, I would even say 2Foxy 100% is that guy. We sometimes kind of glanced over that when we were casting it because it was just, you always saw Chalky with a sniper and you're just like, click, go Chalky, right? Watch him do his thing. But 2Foxy was that guy who was just in the trenches, getting the kills. He's the dude that's there fighting off 5 people, just tossing babies and saving them. Old ladies pushing him across the street. He was doing his thing. And that's why
he was pushing old ladies across the street.
Pushing old ladies and getting them away from danger. You know what I mean? That's 2Foxy.
Wow. 2Foxy.
That's
2Foxy throwing babies and pushing old ladies. It seems like the analysts are putting a lot of pressure on you, my friend.
All day.
Let's get a quick scoreline prediction from the pair of you. Wonderboy, what do you think?
It's got to be 2-0 Infused. Like we said, event winners across the board on this team. I think it should be a stomp in favor of Infused.
Same thing?
Yeah, I think it's, I don't want to see HYP bring it. I want to know what they're capable of. But when you're going against a team as seasoned as Infused, got to go with them.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that. Let's hand it over our casters and get this underway. Tun, strong side, over to you.
Thank you very much, Brycey. My name is Tun. I'm here with Strong Side, and we've got an interesting game coming up here, though. Infused taking on HYP Gaming. Straight off the bat, off of what have they been talking about? What's your predictions for this game?
I'm going to have to go kind of the same way. Infused, they've just got that veteran skill right now, and they're playing against HYP Gaming. First LAN event into this new experience, so kind of like the other guys. They need to take away from this and learn something. But, we could be wrong. HYP Gaming could come in and they've practiced strategies, and they could take a game or, even win the series. But we need to see that happen because, just with the track record, Blackjack, Ramirez, Chalky, these guys used to be on Vibe. And these guys had traveled to the States, and I think Golden Boy had mentioned Chalky has that famous snipe spree that had happened over at the PAX Prime Showdown in H2A. And he just went off with the sniper rifle, and that's when everybody came to know Chalky as just this incredible sniper. So these guys they've got a lot of past history in the Halo scene and a lot of skills. So it's hard to say that they're not going to win.
So, the pressure is on them, though, at the same time. Coming into this HYP game, and they've got nothing behind them to say that they're potentially going to win this. So, the pressure is off. They're playing without that pressure. They could potentially go in with an upset here. I think everyone's sort of saying, Infused are going to take this. I'm going to go with that as well, 2-0 for me. Just typically looking at the seed difference and the caliber of player on Infused, much stronger than HYP Gaming, unfortunately, for HYP Gaming. But the map's on your screen. We are going to be playing Strongholds on the rig, and then it's going to be Team Slayer on Coliseum. And if we get to it, it is going to be Capture the Flag on Truth. Now, the rig, what's your opinions on it for Strongholds? Because I really, really like it. I like the different sort of control areas you can get, and, I'm a big fan.
Rig Strongholds is honestly probably in my top 3 game modes for Halo right now. It's so competitively balanced. And you have those areas where you can control and set up a spawn trap, and it's just those 2 strongholds outside. Those are the 2 that you want to go for. And we saw these other 2 teams, Dignitas, just really play it by the book. So let's see if Infused can do the same up here against HYP Gaming. I'd say let's start on board with 2Foxy.
It's somebody the guys on the analyst desk did talk about. 2Foxy has been doing big things currently. Let's see what he can do at the start of this game. Just holding things down here, trying to get a hold of basement. They're going to push forward towards that, and Big Gun Battle going to come up here. Can he manage to stay alive? Does get the AR. He should just about make that first kill. Doesn't quite go down for him. Has managed to stay alive, though. And nobody really in control at the moment, both with 1 stronghold apiece.
Yeah, and when you look at red team, by the way, they spawn at the BR base, so they technically have the harder time to push outside. The blue team gets that little bit of an advantage at the start of the match, but it already looks like Infused is already picking up Nest on top of that, and it looks like they're looking to take over basement right now. 2Foxy making the jump over to the camo plat and taking down this guy here. Not actually able to take him down, thought he was going to finish him, but taking down these guys here over at Nest, picking up the double kill, controlling that Nest. That is such an important hill to, an important stronghold to cover throughout the entire match, if not the most important.
And that was Tails coming in there with a very important kill to shut him down because he was advancing on. The rest of his team were collapsing in there, but currently at BR base does pick up. BR has 2 strongholds for his team, though. Currently 2Foxy on Team Infused, 2-1 to the good, and those points are rising. Just trying to catch a basement at the same time, though. Contested, currently 1 kill does go down, and that's the grenade coming in for him as well. Is he going to be able to stay alive just about? Is he going to be able to capture it? He does, and that's 3 strongholds now for Infused. They're going to get started and get some points on the board as this BR in hand as well, so let's see what he can do with it. BR base, they are currently losing that, but they're okay with that.
Yeah, now they've just got the perfect setup, and if they play this the rest of the way out, just holding outside, we may see a 100-0 match right here. And actually, 2Foxy jumps off the map. Don't see that happen too often. Let's hop on board with one of the other guys. Let's hop on board with Goose Time from the other team.
Now let's see what he can do. As I said, the pressure isn't there for him. He does go down to Ramirez very, very quickly with that pistol. But yeah, as I said, the pressure isn't there for them, so they can go out here, and currently it's not going too well for them, but they have that momentum potentially to take this away from Infused, but currently with 40 points to 0, it's unlikely. But Scatshot in hand.
They've got a good push here going. They had 3 guys on their team push towards basement, unable to get this here. Actually, it looks like if he can pick up a kill here, they may be able to get it. He's got some help from his teammate above, and he's going down, not able to get that help from above by Human. Human's going to pick up a kill. I think the biggest thing to look at when you see these 2 teams play, the teamwork, and I'll bring that up a million times. It just comes down to using teamwork. You can have the best individual skill, but we're not going to see HYP Gaming take this further unless they work together a bit more, and that's something they can really take away from
It's such a huge thing in Halo, isn't it, teamwork? I mean, obviously teamwork is one of the main ingredients for any competitive team in any competitive game, but on Halo, it's so essential to have a great team. You know, the team shots coming in can really just melt teams together if you can really get that down. But here we go on board with Squashy. Sorry, he is going to pick up the kill there, pushing towards Nest. Is it a good idea for him to be thinking about this here? Because currently the shot's going to come in. He's not going to survive that. Ramirez coming around the back.
Sneaking with the camo right there, just baiting him in. Just perfect play by Ramirez right there, just holding down the Nest. And you see these guys, it's already 83 to 0 right now. It looks like they're going to be closing this off here very shortly. But just also, they're playing it just by the book. So it's going to be interesting seeing Infused match up against Dignitas or Epsilon in the future, seeing how they can stop this setup. What are they going to do? What are their strategies to break this setup?
Yeah, it just seems smart. It seems very methodical from Infused. There's nothing too panicky about their player. They're moving around the map with the right movement, just staying alive, nothing too crazy, and they're making it look very, very comfortable. 2Foxy does pick up a kill with that pistol, and currently on board with Ramirez. See what he just really held down this Nest. He hasn't died in such a long time at the moment, and really held that down well, all on his own. He's just really keeping HYP Gaming completely off this. He picks up one. Is he going to be able to pick up the second his teammate comes in there? Once again, that teamwork that we talked about is essential for Infused. Worked out really well for them. They're just picking apart HYP Gaming. It's currently 80 to 0 in just a second with only a few minutes gone, and this is looking very strong from Infused. I mean, talking as with the rest of this game is going to pan out, and there's no way Infused are going to lose this one now. Where do you see them going this weekend? Yeah,
all four down on HYP Gaming right there. And you just see here, I'm going to hop on board with 2Foxy, who's just going in for the BR base. And they kind of know they've sealed the deal, but now you're going to see HYP Gaming spawn behind their team Infused over in basement, and now they're going to lose basement. But I think they know that this game's pretty much over.
It was over before it started. When you look at this scoreline, 96 and rising. We're about to close this one out. Infused are going to take map 1 away, 100 points to 0. A very, very convincing start.
Yeah, the first Gooser that we've seen this match when it comes to scoring stronghold points. But HYP Gaming, they don't need to be upset with themselves. They're playing a great team of guys, veteran players. Like we were saying, just take something away from the game and learn how to make a push out of BR base. And I think from what I saw, the biggest thing would just be working together. There was a lot of times where they would make a push, and then one guy would kind of break away and go do his thing, and the other guy would break away and go do another thing. So they need to focus on the same thing, kind of communicate like, hey, let's go over here. Let's make this play to get this stronghold. The other two guys can be going for a different stronghold, or they all four could be going for the same thing.
I mean, it is about that sort of risk and reward with Stronghold, isn't it? I mean, it's however many you commit to a certain stronghold, and you can push in there, but if you commit too many, it doesn't work out, then you can really lose the map. And unfortunately for Hyped Gaming there, that happened from the start. I mean, Infused walked in there, got control pretty easily. Not a single point for Hyped Gaming. It's got to be hard to take. As you said, there's no pressure on them. But, I mean, would they have expected a heavy as defeat as that? Or would you have expected them to at least pick up a few points?
Well, I mean, they did get the outside spawn, so you'd kind of expect them to pick up the nest in the basement. But Infused was just in their faces. They were pushing towards the nest immediately. Obviously, they're picking up BR base off the spawn. You need to pick that up. But they were out of that back corner just within 5 seconds of the game starting. Yeah. So it was hard for Hype Gaming to really even make a push to get the nest at the start.
So it was very, very intense play by Infused, getting that first nest hill, and really just controlled it from there. Good work by them. They're going to take the first map in a very, very strong fashion. Moving on to the next one, it is actually going to be Slayer on Coliseum. We've seen this map the previous 2 times. We've just watched the games there, if you guys have missed it. And it's an interesting map for me. I really like, obviously, the symmetry from it. I think it offers a fair playing field, if you like. So it'll be interesting to see who can get control of the power weapons, of course.
Yeah, and from what we saw with the past matches here on Coliseum Slayer, there was a couple players that didn't go for the power-ups at the start of the match, and it's so crucial to go for the rockets. At least have one player make a push for rockets, or make another player go for sniper. You need one person to go for each one of those.
So why do you think that is? Why do you think they aren't sending guys there? Do you think they're just trying to concentrate on maybe get control elsewhere, or do you think it's just maybe a miscommunication?
It's got to be nerves. I'm sure they normally, in a normal situation, being at home, playing with their team, they go for those power-ups. Yeah. But from what we saw, they're kind of overextending and doing things that they might not do because you're playing such a good team. You may think the way you normally play is wrong and like, hey, I need to change what I do to play against these top guys. You don't need to change exactly what you do. You just need to kind of advance what you normally do. Like, do the same thing, but use some teamwork. Yeah. Well, not do it better, yeah. But, I mean, yes, actually, yeah, do it better. Do it better, but yeah, I mean, just advance from it. You need to go for the power-ups on Coliseum. It's, like you said, very balanced map, one of our best maps here in Halo 5. So going for power-ups, or going for the power weapons is going to be the key on this game type.
Okay, well, I mean, we've seen it, obviously, when we talked about Strongholds there, the key was getting a hold of the particular Stronghold that Infused did go for at the beginning there, and at the same time, it reiterates into Team Slayer, obviously getting a hold of the power weapons. You'd expect Infused to be able to get there first, because it seems to work out really well for them on the previous map, getting that objective, so to speak, primarily before the other team, and it worked out well for them, and obviously went on and just continued and snowballed them into the rest of the game, that first initial push. So let's see if we can do that on Slayer as well, Team Slayer as well. But I'm interested to see how strong Infused look on this as well, because from the back of that previous map, you would expect them to really completely whitewash Hyped Gaming here. You really can't expect anything less than a complete stomping, because that is exactly how they started the first map. Can they continue that on? I don't know what you think. Realistically, yes.
I'd say they're probably going to come in just as strong. Like they're obviously not taking these games lightly. They want to show that they are a top team. So as you saw, they won 100-0. And that's something that doesn't happen too often in Strongholds. That's honestly kind of hard to do. But they pulled it off, and now they've got Coliseum Slayer. And if they're controlling these power weapons throughout the entire match, I think we could see like a 50 to 15 or so. Yeah. But if Hype Gaming wants to stop that, they need to get these power weapons. At the beginning, it's normal to send one guy over to your own elbow and send a guy up to your bridge with DMR. Yeah. And you kind of have that guy over at the elbow, sit back a little bit, maybe stop one of the guys going up for rockets, but you don't need to just forcefully charge in and rush and just bum rush the rockets. Yeah. Just take your time, work together, and make sure you're calling out. But who do you want to hop on board with this match?
I think we went with two Foxy Previous. Let's go with somebody from Team Hype. Let's see if they can get a hold those power weapons. As we said, let's see if they can start it off in a good fashion, because they're going to need to if they want a chance of against Infused. We're on board with Squashy and straight away heading towards Rockets.
Heading right to the elbow, just like we were talking about. So he's going to make his way up to Rockets here. Let's see if he gets in a battle. Yep, he's going to get into a 1v1 fight. Can he make it happen?
He's not
going to be able to take him down right there. Let's move on over to Goose Time, who's also helping him out. See, they're doing a great job. Even though Squashy died, the other team hasn't got control of Rockets yet. Goose Time is kind of putting him at bay, not allowing him to go up for it. As they go for it, he's probably going to pick up this kill. There he goes, picks up the kill. So although they didn't get Rockets, Goose Time was able to pick up a kill right there, which is helping benefit the team. Now they just got to acquire these Rockets.
Yeah, now they've switched over. He's got the rest of the team with him. He should be able to pick it out. 2foxy. He does pick up a perfect kill, though. And kill's going to come in for Infused. That's 3 very, very quickly off the bat for them. So 7 and 2. Sniper rifle in the hands of Human, not able to do anything. And it just seems Infused see the issue, the hyped game, and have those power weapons. They close it down fast, and they close it down very, very fast. Blackjack now has the sniper. Let's see what he can do with this. Does have DMR in hand as well.
So we've got Ramirez with the Rockets, Blackjack with the sniper rifle. They've already gained control of all the power weapons. We saw that short time, Goose Time did take down the Rocket player, but they just weren't able to capitalize and get control of them.
I mean, it could potentially be fair to say that that is literally the game for hyped gaming now, because the control of the weapons are with Infused. How are they going to be able to turn this around? The kill's going to come in there. Human does pick up one to Foxy, not quite going to get there with the kill for Blackjack, with the sniper going to look for the second time around. Not going to happen, does get shut down. But big headshot coming in there onto Squashy, who goes down, and this is Infused looking very, very strong. The score is 13 to 5. Is he going to make the third? Not quite. He is scouting around with that sniper. Not going to happen for him here, but very, very strong for Infused currently.
Yeah, and we're seeing kind of that same play style here with Infused. They're really holding down the sniper area with the bridge. Let's hop on board with Ramirez real quick, showing that actually he's making a push over towards blue right now, and Blackjack giving him some cover over here with the sniper rifle, able to pick up the double kill, looking for the triple. He knows there's going to be someone flanking. Not gonna connect there, but so right here, he's looking for the spawners. So Blackjack knows people are gonna be spawning around Red Cave, possibly over by Red Sniper, since his entire team is over at blue. It looks like there's a couple players still over there, the other team may still spawn there, but he knows red is completely empty. You see no one on that side of the map, so he knows someone's gonna be over here. It's a really smart play by Blackjack.
And he does have the weapon enabled to really pick off players quickly, but he does see his teammates spawning there, so he knows somebody's going to come in around behind. He does take a couple of shots here. Is he going to be able to manage to survive this one? Shot's going to go in. He's just about going to get away. Human does pick up the kill on the Chalky. And I wouldn't put Hyped Gaming out of this yet, but 23 days, a very, very strong scoreline from Infused. Blackjack trying to get some shots in there with the DMI. Is he able to do it from here? He's got 2 guys in front of him. Can he manage to survive? The sniper rifle is pulled out. Is he going to be able to do anything with it? It is going to respawn soon. Does just about to get the shot off there. Is he going to be challenged? Not quite. A couple of kills do come in there for Hyped Gaming and just trying to stay alive. And you know, Blackjack has done a fantastic job there. A couple of shots. He had a few members of Hyped Gaming in front of him. Still manages to survive. Didn't quite manage to pick up the kills, but not getting any kills over to Hype is really beneficial for Infused.
All right, let's hop on board with Human, who actually has just picked up the sniper rifle as well. He's going to get trapped, though, and taken down by Infused. You saw Infused, just 2 guys calling him out over there, and they were able to connect and take him down pretty easily.
I mean, just to touch on something, like you seen when Blackjack had a hold of that sniper, how long did he have a hold of that? About 2 or 3 minutes?
Yeah.
As soon as Human picked that up, Infused swarmed him so quickly. And they just seem the more intense team here in Team Slayer. Let's see what they can do to continue this on, but it is a very good scoreline. It has reduced slightly. I mean, we have seen Hype Gaming come back into this a little bit. 28 to 15 now. 13 kills is the difference. 2foxy picks up a double of his own. Rocket launcher spawn in 10 seconds. It looks like the control is with Infused. It's looking very good for them.
Yeah, they're playing this really well, keeping them spawning back and forth. If you look at Hype Gaming, they're kind of scattered everywhere around the map. It seems a little chaotic for them, and that can happen because you're playing against a top team, Infused, and they're putting a lot of pressure on Hype Gaming. So Hype Gaming may not be used to that type of pressure, just people constantly in your face, putting shots, just nades flying in. It could be just a lot to take in at first, but the game seems to be slowing down here just a little bit, but now we see Chalky he's not letting up. He's just
very
charging in. You see his other teammates charging in right there with him. They're taking down.
Double for 2foxy once again. Triple coming in for him there actually with a scatter shot. Sorry,
let's hop on board with 2foxy going for the long range overkill. I think that was shot at his teammate. He's going for the overkill on his teammate.
Well, I actually had a chat with the guys, and they said wouldn't be surprised to see something special from Infused. You know, maybe if they go high up, they might try a bit of fun on stream here. But currently looking very good for them. 40-17. That hasn't been a kill on HYP Gaming for a long, long time. Those power weapons are really being used by Infused very, very well. Let's see what they can do to try and close this one out. They only have 10 kills to go, and they've done it in very convincing fashion. The first map was a complete whitewash. This one a little more closer, but still at the same time, very, very strong out of them. Is he going to be able to pick up this kill? Ramirez, another one there. As for Blackjack with the pistol as well. And they just have control of all the weapons when they need to.
Yeah, and actually just looking at some of the players from HYP Gaming, they're playing extremely passive. Like, hey, let's hop on board with Tails. Just doesn't really know what to do right now. And it's not a terrible thing. This is their first time matching up against a top team. But you can tell that they're playing really passive and kind of afraid to move out because just Infused is all over them.
Yeah, and this game is going to get closed out any second now. Only 2 kills for Infused to pick up, to walk away with the series. They won the first map very convincingly. They're 2 kills away from winning the second, make that 1. And they should be able to close this out. Infused take map number 2 and the series.
Yeah, an incredible match. Kind of like what we said, it was going to be a quick 2-0.
Yeah.
But HYP Gaming definitely, once they match up against one of the other teams, who knows what could happen in this bracket here.
You look at the top. I mean, it's typically been called the top 4 teams here. Obviously, we've got Infused in there, Epsilon, XL, and Dignitas. So, I mean, looking at those 4, and then the rest of the guys, you want to try and really push yourselves in there to try and get into those top 3 spots, which is what everyone's aiming for here this weekend.
Exactly. Well, Infused definitely winning in a good fashion. The 100-0 is definitely something to note on. That hadn't been done yet here at the event. So definitely Infused. These top 3 teams, we've got Infused, Epsilon, and Dignitas so far. And then other people are talking about XL being that 4th team that could make a move. New players like Godshot, Havoc, Snaky, and Looney are players to watch out for. These are up-and-comers, and if they can pull it together and have some great teamwork and just not let these names kind of get to them, they can make something happen.
Yeah, I mean, let's see what they can do, because it is going to be realistically very hard for them to break that core amount of teams at the top there. It'll be interesting as the day goes on. Obviously, we're not going to really be able to tell it today. I think as the weekend develops on is where we're going to see whether these teams can actually go in there and break the mold, if you like, to see if they can actually qualify for a chance to get in the World Championships. I mean, obviously, this isn't the only step that they have to take. They have to then move on to the next one, and it's a long process for everybody. You know, I mean, all these events to try and get to that position, it really does sort of separate the best from the worst. But anyway, we are going to send it over to the guys on the analyst desk to break down that game.
Thank you very much. Well, yes, I'm Bryson, joining here again by the boys. So, guys, first impressions of how that all went down.
It's pretty much as we predicted. A stomp. Infused, very, very methodical. Of course, they won game 1, 100-0, and then game 2 was another steak dinner. I'm getting full up from all the steak. I can't.
I'll tell you, man,
anymore.
you guys have been eating a lot of steak.
I need the protein, though. I need the protein.
Yeah, you do. You need the protein,
I need some
man.
meat on
You're
my
a
bones.
skinny kid. You gotta get fat like me.
Yeah.
That's how.
Can you
that's how
teach
gotta
me?
live.
How
I could teach you.
Yeah?
We'll go to Nando's and we'll go to town.
Okay.
Go to town. Sims will love that. It'll be good. He'll love that.
That's a good Nando's.
Loves a good Nando's.
Wild tangent away from the game there.
Hey, listen.
Halo World Championship brought to you
Sponsored
by
by
Nando's. All right.
Or as we call it, Lando's.
Lando's.
We're at a LAN.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
is that what it is?
Lando's. Yeah.
That's adorable.
You got to have a Nando's
Right?
at land. That's
Lando's.
tradition.
We don't have
cheeky
any Nando's.
Nando's.
Cheeky Nando's.
Cheeky
We don't have any
Nando's.
of that in the United States. Feels bad, man. Feels really bad. Feels really,
bad, man.
really bad.
Right, coming
we
back
gotta
on
talk
that,
about
somewhat on the topic of Halo. I think that's why we're
Is
here.
Is that why we're here? Oh, okay. I guess.
Okay, so let's dive a little bit into the game. It was a stake dinner that second game, but first game, let's just quickly touch on. It was a goose. Solid performance there by Infused.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Epsilon and Dignitas earlier on in the stream. They weren't able to get that 100-0 shutout, so it's a real statement, I think, from Infused. A statement of intent. They're here to play. They're here to win. And that's what they did in game 1. It was 100-0, a complete shutout. Just perfect execution from them, I think.
I definitely didn't expect it. I mean, for the most part, we saw like strong starts. I mean, Potent in that last matchup, they had a decent start rate, able to put I believe 12 or 13 points on the board. And then, you started to see Dignitas begin to catch up, and then they took the lead and they never looked back, right? But even then, though, you still had Potent able to put in some points on the board. I think they clocked in 21 or something like that,
21
right?
or 27, I
yeah,
think,
right.
yeah.
So they were able to clock in over 20 points at the end there. But yet, just Infused, man, just did not stop, right? They were on them. They even trip-capped them numerous times.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we'll get into that in a little bit. But still, I mean, Infused just looked dominant, Brycey.
They most certainly did. Let's actually jump on to an Infused player now. Here's an interview with Blackjack.
Thanks, guys. Blackjack, 100-0 on the first map, and obviously a state dinner on the second. Is there a sense of one-upsmanship with the other big teams here?
Yeah, we said before the match that the other two teams didn't get the 100-0. We knew we could do it, so we called it before. It was the plan going in. So it was good to make that statement to the other teams.
So obviously you've beaten Epsilon and Dignitas online, but you've never made it obviously to the cut all the way. You've never won the cup. So on your day you can win, and perhaps today could be the day, or this weekend.
Yeah, we're definitely competitive with the other two. Obviously with a third favorite coming in. But I think this is our weekend. We've had a lot of practice online now. We kind of catching up with other teams because we were a bit behind in practice terms. So yeah, this is a weekend for us.
What separates you guys online compared to LAN? I mean, is LAN in your favor, or would everyone say that?
I think most teams here would probably say that, but we've got probably most experience out of all the teams. We've got more event wins than any other team between us. So I think when it comes to LAN, we're ready for tournaments. We play for the money.
All right, and finally, what's it like to be playing in the G-Finity Arena?
It's amazing here. It's the first time for me here. It's a really nice venue. The booths are really sweet. You can you really concentrate in there. You haven't got the distractions of everything, so I really like playing here. It's going to be great.
All right, so we're going to fire back now to Brycey and the boys.
Thank you very much there, Josh. So, very experienced, and they said, we feel like we can get the 100-0, and they certainly did.
Yeah, they most certainly did, and a lot of it was 2Foxy and Rami just doing work. You know, just early on in the game, 2Foxy was just doing his thing. I mean, we highlighted him before the game. He's going to be the man throwing babies in the trenches, and that's exactly what he did.
Saving babies.
Yes. Oh, I thought he said
No,
throwing
he did say throwing babies. He did say
Throwing
throwing
babies to
babies.
safety. I've made that abundantly
I
clear.
don't
I
think-
envision him, you know, with a BR in his hand, it's like, come here, child, and tossing him and saving and, you know, doing the things and all the stuffs.
Yes, all the things
all
and the
things
stuff.
and the stuffs, man, you know.
Let's go through this map by map then. Let's take a good critical look at map number 1. Was there anything Hype could have done?
No.
No.
No, as simple as that. I mean, Infused just won the slang battle. I mean, they just got kills. They got slays on the board. It was just, it's so hard to move around a map and, you know, make rotations and stuff happen on Strongholds when you're just constantly on respawn. That's exactly what Hype were. They were just on respawn constantly. They weren't able to move, and Infused made the most of it. They triple capped, and it was 100-0, man. I mean, what more do you want out of Infused?
Yeah, a couple things to take away from that game was I saw one of the members of Hype. I'm not sure. I think it was I remember who it was. I think it was Goose Time or Squashy, one of those players. Change settings mid-game. Now, here's
That's
the
not
thing.
good. No.
Pro tip, okay? 'Cause
Don't do that.
When I competed, all right, we got the solo cam now, so that's what's up.
Straight down the middle.
Went straight down the middle. I'm looking at you, Internet, you people at home. Don't change your settings mid-game. It's the devil. Don't ever do that. It's really bad. You know, you never want to do that, man, because those kinds of things, like, you know, they distract you. They make you think that there's something else that's making you lose this game, but the reality of it is that you're just getting absolutely slaughtered, right? And not to take away from Hype there, or not to make anyone feel bad, but it's like that's the truth. You had Infused come out with an insane start. They got that double cap right away. They were not looking back. And since then, they were just racking up the kills. Another one that really impressed me was Ramirez, right? The way he managed to stay alive by Batman and on the ledge by Ness, he just held it down. There was no stopping him. It was incredible.
Movement was insane.
Those are the things that you have to prevent, right? You cannot allow a player like Ramirez to stay alive in such a strong part of the map. You have to flood him. You have to figure out a way to be able to get in his face and frustrate him. And that was just something that Hype weren't doing, because as soon as they spawned by BR base, they had no chance to get out. And it just constantly happened over and over. And they were like lemmings. You know, just one came up and they just pushed forward and he died. One came up, pushed forward, and he died. You have to work as a unit, and they just couldn't do that.
Well, it was certainly a commanding performance there by Infused in the first place. Let's move on to the second map. For me, there were certain flashes where it looks, they're starting to actually trade fairly effectively. But I mean, 2Foxy went 22-4.
Yeah. Well,
There's
like
no
you said,
trading that.
It's like you said. Towards the early part of the game, there were trades. Yeah, you're right. It was around. I think it was around the 20 kill mark. It was around when Blackjack picked up the sniper. He missed the first few snipes. He was still settling into the game, but after that, he just went on a tear, and there was just kills left, right, and center, and it was easy work from then on. And then that just transformed into a 50 to 18 score, and that is a really commanding performance. That's not just a steak dinner. That's all the trimmings.
Well, you have to think too, right? Like they actually couldn't get out of that blue base for a long time.
Yeah.
You had Infused basically on them nonstop, coming from the green side, making their way over to blue, and just flooding them. And then you had Blackjack, who was hanging out by Red Elbow with his sniper. He's like, okay, I'm just going to chill out here.
Yeah, for a few minutes, he almost had nothing to look at.
Hanging
His
out.
team actually just slaughtering everybody.
We know Strong Side loves to look at the snipers when he's controlling the cameras, people. That's a Strong Side thing. That's a strong. But seriously, though, what showed was that it was just control.
Yeah.
Right? Pure control. And HYP had no answer for it because as soon as they poked out Blackjack, who started to heat up with those shots, just couldn't find anything.
And that's the thing as well. Not only when he, had the sniper, it's when he ran out with the sniper. He didn't just say, "Oh, I still got a sniper. I should sit back." Once that thing was out of ammo, he was aggressively pushing the HYP Gaming side with his team. That's exactly what he should be doing. So great synergy there from the Infused side, I think.
Yeah, and then of course Foxy. I mean, we mentioned this before. 22 and 4 for him. He had a triple kill, 2 with the rockets, 1 with the scatter. Again, just for one, just shows the weapons that he had in his possession. He had rockets and he had scatter.
Yeah.
Right? Like that just shows the confidence that he had. Typically, you want to see players. They'll probably go for the scatter if it's like right in front of them. But you'd want that utility weapon. You'd want your assault rifle. You'd want your pistol. At least one of those.
Yeah.
Foxy throws caution to the wind, dumps one of his utility weapons, picks up a scatter, gets a single kill with that, picks up the double as well with the rockets, and just goes off. Those are the kinds of plays you want to see right now. But moving forward, though, they need to be very aware of the fact that the competition is only going to get harder.
Yep.
They can't run away with those kinds of plays, and they're just going to have to prioritize. What do they want? Make those call outs. Hey, I have a scatter shot here. Hey, I have a rocket here. You don't want to hold. You don't like run the T2 combo of rockets and sniper.
Yep.
That's just those are things you just don't want.
I would. I'd do.
I know you would, buddy. I know you would.
I'm a demon.
You're
with both.
wonderful.
I'm a beast.
Yeah, you are. You're right there.
I'm small, but I'm scrappy.
You're a scrappy.
I'm
Yeah, I
scrappy.
envision you like if you get into a tavern brawl.
Yeah.
I envision you just going for the ankles. You know what I mean?
I bite. I pull
right
hair.
for it. I can see Onset, like kind of holding his own, right? Like talking that hot garbage, right?
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, right, here comes just like a sneaky little wonder boy. It just goes right for the ankles and just gets right in there.
That's
you know,
me.
that's you.
You
That's
know
you.
me
You're
well.
that guy.
You know me well.
We're gonna have to get into some fights sometime.
I think so.
We'll
like a
make it happen.
tag team kind of thing.
And we're gonna have to go fight at Nando's. That's what we're gonna have to do. You have to go down there. Get in some brawls.
Nando's Fight Club. Let's make
That's
it
it.
happen.
I don't even know why I'm here.
I think a bromance has
Sure, a
been
lot of people
firmly
asking that
established
question
here. It does seem
Hey,
like there's a little bit of love in the
I
air
love all
between
you guys.
these two.
I love everyone.
But me the
But
most.
let's kind of move
love.
on now. Coming up after the break, Excel versus Reformed. We'll see you then.